What's up, my folks? I just wanted to say, you can't wait until your back is against the wall to start swinging. So, in other words, you can't wait until you're ready to break down to say, I must have peace. You can't wait until the final minute of the final hour to stand up for yourself, to treat yourself to something nice that soothes your soul. Most people are their own biggest critic. You can't be that way too much because the devil wants you like that. That state of mind is self destructive, quick to punish yourself, slow to reward. That'll have you stuck inside your head all day long trying to find everything that's wrong with you, highlighting everything that's wrong with you, exaggerating everything that's wrong with you. And if you're really feeling it, you'll be willing to twist the truth and try to take away from the virtue of the good you do just to kick yourself while you're down. I only helped the old lady because she was right there. I only gave him a ride because it was along the way. Who cares if it saved him a lot of trouble? And the devil, the devil loves that kind of thinking. He's having a grand old time when you have that kind of thinking because now you're convincing yourself nothing good you do matters. So you're much less likely to go out there and spread positivity and be someone's blessing in the nick of time if you're convinced nothing you do matters. So now you're leaving God's people to fight on their own, knowing they're neck deep in afflictions and just barely able to stay afloat with a little bit of hope. At the same time, you're seemingly living a life without any purpose. So they need you and you need them. Just like Howard said, each one teach one, each one can reach one. And you can't take that for granted of how many people you have reached that you might never know about. One time I was talking to God by myself and I was trying to make a decision. I was being wishy-washy on it. And I had finally came to the decision, to my conclusion. And someone else shouted out, that was in the room, shouted out, finally. They was playing on their phone doing something. But I could tell just how perfect timing it was. Right after I got done praying, that was God using them to speak to me. And I didn't take that for granted. I remember that to this day. So you never know how God has used you just today. How many people he could have used you just today to have blessed, to have made more sure of themselves, to have made more confident, to have removed their insecurities, to have drawn them closer to Christ, to have given them an example of how to be when they're secretly insecure and they don't know how to be and they think they don't know what to think because their world's falling apart and nobody knows it. You don't know how many people like that you've inspired or gave way to without your knowledge because the good Lord works in mysterious ways, and not just mysterious to those that he blesses, but mysterious to those he uses as well. So you can't take that for granted. You got to know we are all in this together. You do have help. You are loved. You're not alone. And you have not because you ask not. If your haters knew all the names you call yourself in your worst moods, they'd probably take the rest of the year off. The devil has a good time when he catches you thinking like that. It's one thing if I'm in a fight with the enemy, but it's another thing entirely if I'm in a fight with myself. It's no wonder you always feel like you're losing when you're beating yourself up. That can only birth a defeated man's mentality. If you had a choice of who you live with, would anybody choose to live with a person who's overly critical of you? Who would want to go somewhere with someone who's overly confrontational and who's going to hold you to a standard of perfection and hold everyone else to a different standard? Would you want to be around a person like that? No. So why be a person? Why be to yourself with a person that you would not want to be around outside in the real world? That's food for thought. You have to stop being your own worst enemy. Because the devil don't even be doing nothing to us most of the time. He can't even do nothing to us. We are blessed. There's the hinge, a holy hinge around us. is the holy hinge from the holy God, the Almighty One. Mistake that not. We are firmly within his hand at all times, grasped and closed shut in the hand of the Almighty. So he tries to get us to defeat ourselves. The devil tries to get us to defeat ourselves and be our own worst enemy and be our own undoing. And if you can avoid being your own undoing and make sure all your days are focused on your relationship with God, there's nothing he can do to you. He'll fear you, because you'll be the man or the woman who sets men free from his grasp, who saves souls from hell. That's what my mission is. That's what your mission is too. Go forth and preach the gospel. And remind people that their good Lord is good and he is Lord. Should always wake up with a purpose for that. Not just a purpose, but with a purpose to glorify God, to bring souls to God, and to do things that God cares about. Don't worry about the reward. This is simply because this is what you were made to do, and you want to do what you were made to do well. And be good to your Father. And this is also because you want to be good to someone, the Most High, who has been so good to you, beyond a proper description. Know that no man, no matter how eloquent he is or articulate he is with his words, could describe the goodness of God in a way that does it justice. He is just that good. And you should want to be someone who not just takes, but also gives. Ponder on that. And open yourself to the Holy Spirit for direction. Be humble about it. Tell the Holy Spirit, Holy Spirit, please use me as the good Lord will see fit. I will need help to not only allow myself to be used, but to help so that I do not be disobedient. Help so that I do not ruin my own opportunities. Help so that I do not ruin others' opportunities. I need help to be as I should be. So please, Holy Spirit,